200 days ago, President Obama signed into law the third piece of our economic plan, the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. And today, there's a growing consensus. The Recovery Act is, in fact, working. We don't just take my word for it. Analysts from Moody's to IHS Global Insight to the Economic Policy Institute and others all estimate the Recovery Act has created or saved between 500,000 and 750,000 jobs. Matter of fact, some notable economists suggest the number is as high as 1 million. Economists at Goldman Sachs believe that the package added 2.2 percentage points to real GDP growth in the second quarter of 2009 and estimate that it will add 3.3 percentage points to the current quarter. Mark Zandi, a highly respected economist and former campaign aide for John McCain, wrote in a recent analysis, and I quote, "The fiscal stimulus is providing the fodder for better sales, lower payroll taxes, lower payroll tax withholding, checks to Social Security recipients, and more financial help to unemployed workers are buoying household incomes, and housing tax credit has boosted home sales. It is no coincidence," the quote goes on, "that the recession is ending just when the stimulus is providing maximum economic benefit," end of quote. As Australia's Prime Minister Kevin Rudd said a couple of weeks ago, and I quote, "This is a case study in bringing the world back from the brink, and it was the American leadership from President Obama that was the key," end of quote. You know, it all adds up to this, in my view at least. The Recovery Act has played a significant role in changing the trajectory of our economy and changing the conversation about the economy in this country. Instead of talking about the beginning of a depression, we're talking about the end of a recession 8 months after taking office. But the Recovery Act still has its critics. And one of the criticisms is that it's a grab bag of too many different programs. But the fact is the Recovery Act is a multifaceted piece of legislation. It doesn't reflect a lack of design. That was the design. That was its intended design. Our economy is so complex and so wounded that reinvigorating one segment alone or using one tool alone would never do all that needed to be done. The Recovery Act is not a single silver bullet. I think of it as silver buckshot as opposed to a single bullet. In 200 days, the President's Recovery and Reinvestment Act isn't just working toward something. Isn't just working, it's working toward something. It's working toward a more resilient, more transformative economy.